Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm Nomad Nurse Z, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about pros and cons of working from home as a nurse. So, pro number one of working from home is that you can work from home. I feel like when I'm working from home, I feel so much more comfortable than I do in the work setting. I not only can wear whatever I want, but I can have like other things going on in the background that maybe you can at work. Like I like to listen to the news in the background. I'm not always 100% actively listening to it, but just the fact that I can kind of like look over to the TV and like read the headlines and be like, oh, okay, that's what's going on with the world. I feel so much more connected to the world than I did when I was at the hospital type of setting, because I feel like when you go in there, it's like its own little world and anything could be happening outside and it wouldn't like not necessarily matter, but you wouldn't really know about it because the hospital is just like its own ecosystem. Like it could survive in, a hurricane and everything. Like they have backup generators and all of this stuff. So I feel so much more connected working from home. I love how I can do small little errands during my work breaks. And I feel like a lot of people might think that maybe working from home means you don't work a lot, but it's not that. It's just that when you are working, you're typically more efficient because there is like a reward almost at the other end, because you think, okay, well, as soon as I finish this up, I can go and throw on a load of laundry, or I can go for a quick walk, like a 5-minute walk. And I feel like you don't always have those incentives working in the hospital, because it's like, oh, well, I got my work done, now I can chart. So I think it's really great that you have the option of doing things in your downtime that you couldn't. Another pro, speaking of Nurses Station, is that you can just create your own environment. You don't have to listen to Donna talk about, the patient poop while you're charting. If you don't want to, you can create your own environment. If you want to light a candle, you can light a candle, create that kind of like setting that you want to create, and no one can really say anything about it. Jayco's not going to come by and be like, oh, you can't have any food or drink in the nurse's station. None of that, okay? None of that at all. So I frequently, to be more efficient, I will often eat and work at the same time, which is not the best. Some people will tell you like it's not good, like diet-wise, because you're not really focusing on what you're eating. And I get it. I understand it. There's a good reason people say that. It's just that I feel more efficient when I'm working on the computer and eating, because then it frees up more time for me later. So definitely a pro is that it does free up time, and I use that time to try to be active around the house, like I said, or go outside for a walk. And another pro, I think, is also just the ability to take like personal phone calls if you are in like a really bad like situation. Like it's not that I get phone calls all the time or anything like that. It's the option of having those phone calls come in. So like having that doctor's office call you, you're able to pick it up. Where I feel like when you're in that inpatient setting or even outpatient, our personal life has to be put on hold. Like you cannot pick up a phone when you're in a patient's room, or at least you shouldn't. But working from home, I can see the number that's calling in, and I can determine like if I'm in a good place in my work day to stop and pick it up. A phone call takes 2 minutes, so I literally can just say like, do I have 2 minutes right now? I'm like, yeah, I do. Or the same thing with having the FedEx guy come to your door for you to sign a package for. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff just takes little moments out of your day that they don't take long. It's just the lack of opportunity, and the like not the best setting because like there's patients around that you can't do it. So I really love that aspect of working from home. And some cons that I think working from home as a nurse would include not having that coworker interaction. Some people might think that that's a pro, let's be honest, but for working from home, you kind of miss that coworker interaction. You know, it's kind of like, you know, there's some people that have like work wives and things like that, and I definitely had one when I was working in the outpatient setting. So you do miss that. I do miss that, but the thing is that it doesn't overpower all of the pros, unfortunately for me, which I guess is fortunate for me because I like what I do, that it doesn't matter and I can still catch up with those people that I miss. So this is, you know, really a con for those people that are social butterflies, you know, that can't go without, you know, having that interaction. And I would not say I'm a people person, so it worked out for me. I definitely feel like when I get to work, I want to do my job and I don't want any obstacles, and I don't mind talking to somebody until after I've finished everything, because not because I don't want to do it, it just creates a lot of anxiety for me. I just feel like everything's building up until I get that done. So I want to get it done as soon as I can. So, which I feel like in the hospital setting, like things are never done, you know. And working from home, the nice thing is that I can complete a project and be done with it, and I don't have this never ending story of just like, oh well, you know, as soon as I get done with this patient, they're gonna admit another one. Like, I don't have any of that. I don't have any of that to deal with. And it just, I feel like when you can start something and then stop it, you have so much more of a sense of like accomplishment, you know, because you can see that you've gotten through all of these things. So that's something that I've really noticed as a difference working as a remote nurse. Another con would be that if you're not good with time management, like this might not be for you, because if you're needing somebody to constantly redirect you and tell you to go into room 2, to go draw his labs, like this isn't gonna work for you. And I say this now just so that you don't get into a situation where you realize it later, because I definitely didn't know this going in. I just kind of realized like I'm glad I have some sense of time management, because if not, I would have done terribly at this job. So time management can be a con if that's not something that you are skilled in yet, but luckily it is a skill I think that can develop over time. So you're not completely lost to doing a remote job if you are not the best at time management. You just need a little bit more time to get that under your belt. So some other cons I feel like might be people's idea of you working from home as not doing like real work or something. And it's kind of like, it kind of bothers me because it kind of reminds me of when people say that moms that work from home aren't doing real jobs or something, and I'm just like, no, like it's real, it's just different than what you're doing. Doesn't make it any less real. You know, and I feel like it people don't even understand it until they do it. Like until they work from home as a mom and they're taking care of the kids and everything, they're just thinking, yeah, I could totally do this. But then you do it and you're like, man, I could not do what you do. So I think it's kind of along those same lines that people do not give you credit for the job that you do, and it's kind of sad. But I know that I do work when I'm working, and working from home, I feel like another con might be that there's no real structured work-life balance. So your work can continue if you let it. So something that's really important for me is to have an office space where I can go and just do my work, and have that room associated with work. I do like to still work on the sofa and work in my bed if I wanted to, or work outside in the patio. But those are things that I feel like I'm choosing to do, so I don't, in my mind, associate them with work areas. But I do associate my office space with work areas. So if you're somebody that wants to have your home be completely like work free, like you're the type of person that's just like, oh, I'm gonna clock out now, and as soon as I go home I will do no work, this probably may not be for you, just because there isn't that structured division. Like I said, you have to put the divisions in place if you're gonna want them, and if you're not able to do that, then you may need a little bit more time to develop that skill, because it's a skill, boundaries is a skill. So again, not completely lost, but definitely something to keep in mind. So those are the pros and cons of working from home. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up below and subscribe so you can know about the latest content that comes out. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see everyone later. Bye.